Global Business. Chinese President Xi Jinping holds talks with Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu in Beijing. ILO report says global unemployment to rise in 2024 amid concerns over growing social inequalities. Las Vegas hosts 2024's largest tech event showcasing cutting-edge consumer electronics innovations. Hello and welcome to this edition of Global Business. I'm Xiao Vandenberg. Chinese President Xi Jinping on Wednesday met with Finnish President Sauli Niinisto via video link. She pointed out that Finland was one of the earliest Western countries to establish diplomatic relations with China, and it has long adhered to a friendly policy towards China. In recent years, the two sides have deepened their cooperation in fields such as forest industry, agricultural food products, information communication, energy conservation, science and technology education, and winter sports, bringing tangible benefits to the people of both countries. China is willing to share development opportunities with Finland, strengthen mutually beneficial cooperation, deepen a future-oriented new type of partnership, enhance coordination on international affairs, jointly advocate multilateralism, and safeguard free trade so as to make positive contribution to world peace, stability, and the advancement of modernization in all countries. Amid the current turbulent international situation, she said strategic and global influence of China-Europe relations matters even more. China is willing to view Finland and other European countries with a strategic perspective and a long-term vision, maintain China-Europe relations and achieve common development. President Niinisto said he was pleased that the new type of partnership between the two countries continues to develop. Finland is willing to communicate with China in international and regional affairs and jointly address global challenges. The two heads of state also sent New Year greetings to each other. Niinisto wished the Chinese people a Happy New Year and all the best. Now a look at the economic relations between the two countries. China has been Finland's largest trading partner in Asia for 20 consecutive years. And in 2022, China became Finland's third largest trading partner overall, with bilateral trade reaching 12.5 billion euros, or nearly 100 billion yuan. That's over 7% of Finland's total trade volume for the whole year. The momentum did weaken last year, mostly due to slowing demand globally. Two-way investments were estimated to have reached 30 billion euros as of 2021. China also became Finnish companies' number 4 investment destination that year, right after Germany, Sweden, and the U.S. Chinese President Xi Jinping held talks with President of the Republic of Maldives, Mohamed Muizzu, in Beijing, where both leaders declared the elevation of China-Maldives relations to a comprehensive strategic cooperation partnership. President Xi emphasized the long-standing friendship between China and the Maldives, tracing back to ancient maritime Silk Road connections. He said with 52 years of diplomatic ties, the two nations have set an example of mutual respect, support, and win-win cooperation. President Xi emphasized China's respect for the Maldives' development path and support for its national sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. President Xi proposed enhanced economic cooperation as well as in agriculture and environmental protection, along with increased cultural exchanges and support for more Maldivian students to study in China. Highlighting the shared perspectives and developing countries, President Xi and President Muizzu pledged to strengthen multilateral communication, uphold true multilateralism, and work towards a community with a shared future for humanity. They emphasized cooperation in addressing climate change, supporting the comprehensive and effective implementation of the 2015 Paris Agreement. President Muizzu expressed gratitude for being the first foreign head of state received by China in 2024, emphasizing the high regard both nations hold for developing their relationship. He appreciated China's significant assistance in the economic and social development of the Maldives, particularly through the Belt and Road Initiative. President Moizu anticipated further collaboration, welcoming China's initiatives for global development, security, and civilization. The leaders witnessed the signing of multiple bilateral cooperation documents. The joint China-Maldives press release is expected to be issued during President Moizu's visit. The talk was followed by a welcoming banquet. The free trade agreement with China was the first of its kind for the Maldives, a South Asian country of 500,000 people. Almost 96% of goods traded between the two countries now enjoy zero tariff treatment. In 2022, the annual trade volume between China and the Maldives rose 10% from a year earlier to $451 million. Chinese capital and infrastructure expertise have also played a role in the development of the Maldives. The China-Maldives Friendship Bridge, which cost $200 million and opened in 2018, allows people to walk from the capital, Malé, to the fast-growing artificial island of Hou Mall. In 2022, Chinese companies sealed deals worth a total of $570 million with their Maldivian counterparts. And of course, China stands out as one of the primary sources of foreign tourists visiting the Maldives, accounting for 1 in every 10 travelers to the island nation. The Maldives in the Indian Ocean boasts a mix of natural beauty and attractions for tourists. As Chinese outbound travel continues to gain momentum, this has become an appealing destination for tourists. Dai Kai-yi speaks to tourist insiders about current trends and how the Maldives is looking to benefit this year.
The allure of crystal clear waters, luxury bungalows, and iconic palm trees draws over 1 million tourists worldwide to the Maldives every year, with a significant portion traveling from China.
8 hours after taking off on a flight from Beijing, you'll be in the Maldives capital, Mali, a tropical paradise that most Chinese tourists put on their travel wish lists. One of more significant boosts in Chinese tourism to the Maldives occurred early last year when the two countries introduced reciprocal visa-free entry for their residents.
Statistics show that within half an hour of announcing the mutual visa exemption, China's online travel platforms experienced a staggering 200% increase in page views related to the Maldives.
In the Maldives, many of the islands are known for hosting luxury resorts rated 5, 6, or even 7 stars, as they run under the model of one island, one hotel. The choice of islands varies based on the types of tourists, including families, groups of friends, parent-child trips, and even corporate team building.
Nestled in the Indian Ocean, the world's lowest-lying nation features over 1,100 islands, inspiring many visitors to return multiple times. A public document from the Maldives Tourism Ministry shows that in 2023, China ranked among the top 3 countries bringing the most visitors, with an impressive 187,000 tourists.
As we enter 2024, many travel agencies here in China believe that trend will continue. More younger consumers are diversifying their travel demands, and a new international airport is set to open soon in the Maldives.
For travel agencies, 2023 served as a transition phase for outbound tourism, setting the stage for rapid growth in 2024. The Maldives, catering to the increasing demand from Chinese tourists, is poised for this surge. Data we've collected shows a rise in middle to high-end travelers, aligning with the Maldives' appeal for upscale tourism. The new Vallana International Airport is also about to go operational.
Another factor contributing to the upswing is the increasing choices of younger Chinese travelers born after 1995. This generation is seen as more open to exploring diverse options for overseas honeymoons and weddings. As predicted by travel agencies, the trend is expected to bring a higher influx of Chinese travelers to the Maldives this year. 戴凯怡 CGTN 北京。
Today, China and Tunisia are marking 60 years of diplomatic relations. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Tunisian President Kais Saied have exchanged congratulations over the phone on Wednesday. President Xi says he attaches great importance to the development of the bilateral relations and is willing to push for new and greater development of cooperation. President Saied has expressed his country's willingness to work with China and elevate relations. The development of friendly relations has been stable since 1964, and cooperation has been enhanced in recent years. Tunisia joined the China-proposed Belt and Road Initiative in 2018. In 2022, the presidents met at the China-Arab States Summit in Riyadh, where they pledged to deepen cooperation. Now to some other business headlines from China that we're tracking this hour. China's passenger car retail sales increased by 5.6% year-on-year in 2023, with total retail sales of 21.7 million units. The retail sales of new energy vehicles increased by 36% year-on-year. Among the top 10 companies in the world in terms of power battery installed capacity, Chinese companies occupy 6 seats. CATL ranked first with installed capacity of 233 gigawatt hours and an increase of 48%. BYD ranked second. Data from Bain shows that China made up about 15% of global revenue for the world's top 200 multinational companies in 2022. China remains the largest market for food and beverages, automobiles, textiles and clothing, chemicals, steel, and appliances. You're watching Global Business, still to come. The World Economic Forum's Global Risks Report 2024 explores some of the most severe risks we may face over the next decade.
Every January, global leaders from the realms of policy, business, and civil society gather in the Swiss ski town of Davos to discuss the state of the world. The World Economic Forum 2024 is placing its focus on rebuilding trust. CGTN will be on the ground in Davos, reporting the latest insights and perspectives, and ensuring that China's voice is also heard. Stay tuned for this exclusive coverage, the World Economic Forum 2024, only on CGTN.
Global unemployment and the global jobs gap both show positive trends in 2023, falling below pre-pandemic levels. According to the International Labour Organization's ILO World Employment and Social Outlook Trends for 2024. In 2023, the global unemployment rate was 5%, a slight improvement from 2022's 5.3%. Meanwhile, the global jobs gap and labor market participation rates also improved in 2023. Despite these positive trends, the report highlights emerging fragility, projecting a worsening labor market outlook in 2024, with an expected increase of 2 million job seekers, pushing the global unemployment rate to 5.2%. The report said disposable incomes have declined in many G20 countries, and the erosion of living standards due to inflation is unlikely to be quickly compensated. It added that significant disparities persist between higher and lower income countries, with higher jobs gap and unemployment rates in low-income nations. The World Economic Forum's Global Risks Report 2024 explores some of the most severe risks we may face over the next decade. The report identifies extreme weather, AI-generated misinformation, and social political polarization as most likely to trigger a global crisis in the next couple of years, adding that these changing structural forces are making the world less stable. Some forum experts say that sustained dialogue will lay the groundwork for further cooperation to avoid potential risks. Earlier, the World Bank said there will be a slowdown in global economic performance. It is anticipated that global GDP growth will only reach 2.4% in 2024. Now, for more discussions on the latest global risk report, let's bring in Andy Mok, Senior Research Fellow at the Center for China and Globalization. Andy, good to see you. So how are the changes in the global risk landscape, as we just heard in the recent World Economic Risk Report, impacting the global economy and also individual economies?
Well, thanks for having me on, Michelle. Well, certainly we heard of these structural risks that were mentioned. And the World Bank, as you just said, has a lowered forecast for global growth. And I think that to be optimistic, hopefully things will work out. But I think there's also cause for concern that this report might actually be too optimistic, because we see that in the Middle East or West Asia, that the possibility of escalation in the conflict could wreak havoc on the global economy. Even a disruption in shipping in the Red Sea already is disrupting global supply chains. And we mustn't forget that 2024 is a presidential election year in the United States. And given the growing polarization there, I think this could be another very important geopolitical risk that is not structural per se, but certainly adds to the risk environment, and I think is making investors and business people more cautious.
All right, thank you so much, Andy. Please do stay with us for more discussions later in the program. The 2024 edition of the internationally renowned Consumer Electronics Show has commenced in Las Vegas. The highly anticipated event has attracted tech enthusiasts from over 150 countries and territories. Our correspondent Mark New joins us from the show floor to provide us with highlights and updates from the grand event.
CES returns in full force. In the wake of a COVID pandemic that drastically cut attendance, this year the show anticipates hitting 130,000 attendees, close to some of its peak years. Crowds are marveling at newly unveiled products like this transparent LG TV that allows you to see the picture and the real world behind it. Attendees also get a look at the future, as Hyundai showed off a prototype of its massive fully electric autonomous excavator. Along the sidelines of CES, tech events like Pepcom are packed with companies, many of them focused on health and wellness. Zepp began in Hefei, China, and now has a presence in more than 90 countries. The company is launching the Zepp Clarity Pixie, a hearing aid that fits discreetly in the ear with 17 hours of battery life. It's also unveiling the Amazfit Helio Ring that's designed for athletes.
When the user wears this ring, it first is closer to the skin, and it has several sensors. And within the sensors, we've got what we call a BioTracker sensor that is able to read and analyze basically your blood and oxygen level. It also has another sensor that is able to gauge your performance level. So this is the all-in-one, if you like, smart ring that was designed with the athlete in mind.
At CES, you'll also find products highly influenced by science fiction, like the Moonwalker, billed as the world's fastest shoe, which claims to more than double your walking speed.
So I've practiced now, but I have no idea how to activate them. I'm a little nervous because I have fallen on electric roller skates before, but he's going to tell me how I activate this. How do I activate it?
Sure. So the easiest way to activate is lifting up your left heel,
okay,
and turn inwards. There we go.
Okay.
See it turn into purple?
Okay.
Just walk. All you walk,
okay.
Big step, big step.
Okay.
That was only half speed, so to go to full speed, it's turned the right heel inwards.
Now
here we go. Full speed.
What we're really proud of is the onboard gait AI system that allow us to detect and measure, hundreds times a second that how people walk, how fast they're walking, what's their intentions. We can detect people's intention to go faster or slower even before people can tell themselves.
AI senses when to deliver motorized power to the shoe's wheels, creating something akin to being transported by a moving walkway.
Okay, so I'm 2.5 times normal walking speed, pretty fast, about 10 kilometers per hour. Whoa, look out, coming through.
Also at the ongoing CES, China's e-commerce giant Alibaba announced its smart assistant with a so-called instant help feature. The smart assistant leverages an artificial intelligence-powered chatbot to answer basic inquiries from suppliers and buyers. It offers real-time insights and resources, regardless of time zones or language barriers. Meanwhile, Google expanded compatibility of its television streaming service Chromecast with other devices. With the updates showcased at the CES, Android users can scroll through TikTok videos on their TVs. And to talk more about this year's Consumer Electronics event, let's bring back Andy Mok, Senior Research Fellow at the Center for China and Globalization. So, Andy, how has China's presence at the CES evolved in recent years, and what notable contributions has the country made to the showcasing of tech innovations at the event?
Sure, Michelle. Well, as we just saw, CES is one of the biggest, brightest, and glitziest showcases for technology in the world. So it gets a lot of attention. And I think what's noteworthy this year is that not only have the numbers of attendees gone up since the pandemic, not surprisingly, but the number of exhibitors is about 4,000, and China has 1,100. And that's not counting the companies like Alibaba and TikTok that have used their overseas offices as the registration address. So I think this is a very important achievement, in addition to electric vehicles, everything from a flying car from XPeng, AI-powered smart manufacturing, et cetera, as we've heard some of the consumer-oriented devices as well. So I think China's is making an enormous contribution, and what's most noteworthy is the number of Chinese companies participating, which I think shows the confidence of Chinese technology, as well as the ability to navigate a more complex geopolitical environment.
Yeah. And in what ways is China leveraging its participation in the CES to showcase and promote its technological advancement? Now, how does this impact the global tech industry?
Well, CES is important for a number of reasons. Some people think of it as a kind of a crystal ball to see where technology is going in terms of trends. It's also a very important meeting place. So we all know from COVID, having done online meetings is not quite the same as meeting people in person. So the ability for Chinese companies to meet companies from all around the world, XREO, for example, a Chinese company, is doing a partnership with BMW. That these kinds of partnerships, I think, are very important, and again show that despite the political challenges thrown up by some countries, there's still the desire for business to be done, and ultimately, I think consumers and businesses will find a way where these complementary partnerships can be made and profited from.
Yeah, definitely. Now, looking forward, in what ways is China positioning itself for future tech breakthroughs, and what are some key areas where China is making significant strides in technology and innovation?
Well, I think clearly one area that's not visible to consumers per se is the incorporation of artificial intelligence into manufacturing, or so-called smart manufacturing. So companies, especially Chinese companies, whether you're a Huawei, whether you're a BYD, whether you're an EV company like a NIO or an XPeng, to manufacture more cheaply, higher quality, higher throughput. So I think this is one very important area. The other area I think to keep an eye on is the integration of artificial intelligence with robotics. And I think this has been another very important trend as well. The last thing I want to mention about this, Michelle, too, that's very important about CES is that there are genuine breakthroughs that are announced there. Mm-hmm. But also there's a lot of hype and excitement that is actually used to test the market, to see will consumers respond to a certain product, a certain way of doing things. So it's very much worth paying attention to what people are talking about at CES.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for your insights. Always great to have you on the show. Andy Mok, Senior Research Fellow at the Center for China and Globalization. Now moving on to other headlines we're tracking at this hour. Saudi Arabia announced the creation of a mineral exploration incentives program on Wednesday with a budget of over $182 million. According to the country's Industry and Mineral Resources Minister, over 30 mining exploration licenses will be awarded to global investors in 2024. Korean memory chip giant Samsung has reported a 35% drop in its fourth quarter operating profit. Experts say the weaker than expected performance was mainly due to weaker consumer demand. The CEO of U.S. plane maker Boeing acknowledged errors on Wednesday as more than 170 jets remain grounded for a fourth day. That is the company's first public acknowledgement of errors since last Friday. CEO Dave Calhoun stressed that the company will approach the matter with complete transparency. China is prioritizing economic support for small businesses, which make up 8% of urban employment nationwide. Many face challenges throughout the pandemic, but tax cuts in 2023 helped alleviate some costs. In Shanghai, small coffee shops are benefiting from the measures as they navigate stiff competition. Chen Tong has the story.
Hidden in a quiet Shanghai side street, this unassuming coffee shop faces the challenge of a saturated market with over 8,000 rivals. Business is not bad, but competition is fierce.
The area between Yongjia Road and South Xiangyang Road has a lot of coffee shops. If we want to live longer, we need to have the right products. So most of our money is gone on product research.
In 2023, this shop benefited from over 8,000 yuan, approximately $1,100 in value-added tax exemptions. 8,000 yuan this coffee shop saved from tax exemptions last year can buy 10,000 of these paper cups. To these little shops, every penny counts.
8,000 yuan can help us pay the internet fees for a year or help us save money on water or electricity fees. With 8,000 yuan, we can also buy dozens of bags of coffee beans or 10,000 takeaway cups.
Shanghai witnessed over 110 billion yuan, approximately $15.4 billion in tax cuts and refunds in the first 11 months of 2023. Many small taxpayers were the main beneficiaries.
The tax exemptions help to reduce small companies' burdens in their business operations and financing, which play an important role in stabilizing the economy, boosting innovation, and creating more jobs.
The first 11 months of 2023 saw total tax cuts and exemptions surpassing 1.8 trillion yuan, over $250 billion nationwide. And over 60% of taxpayers that benefited were small-sized companies. Chen Tong, CGTN, Shanghai.
And that will do it for this edition of Global Business. I'm Michelle Vandenberg in Beijing. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.